Good afternoon. This is vk3sl. Welcome to the afternoon session today, and good to be back. Just come back from a walk. It's been very pleasant outside. Nice to be out of the lum. There we go. Got 2 metres on now, so I think we're up and ready.
Good afternoon.
Hello. How are you, Frank?
Very well, thank you. I've just got back from my walk also.
Oh, excellent. Very good. Yeah, it's nice.
Lovely day for a walk.
It certainly is. It's nice, quite still outside, really.
Except people out.
Yeah. Seems to be everyone's out and about doing.
Getting dived on by the birds.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Well, you know, I parked under a tree, and I must have been near their nest because they kept diving.
The starlings or
defended
magpies?
myself.
Yeah, well, that's can be a bit intimidating, actually.
Just a touch, yeah. Especially when you don't know when they're coming.
That's it. Well,
this morning, the 11 o'clock session, they were talking about Jack Wiseman.
Oh, were they really?
And about 4 of the guys had been was his teacher.
Oh, really?
And it was one of the most interesting sessions I've heard for a long time.
Oh, did you record
I
it?
have to hear it replay.
Yeah, I did record it.
Oh, excellent.
And, it was one of the best, and people talk about historical stuff. It's really good.
Excellent. Oh,
What an amazing thing.
I would have loved to have heard that.
Same.
Yeah, I know that Drew had a close association. In fact, he credits Jack Wiseman on the back of his books. He says he's one of his formative influences, which inspired him in the hobby. Was
I can understand that.
It's Mr. Ferry. So how about that? So who else? I mean, others must have known him. He must have been a bit of a luminary.
Well, Laurie had him as a teacher.
Oh, really?
And I think a couple of other guys did too. And they all seemed to live down that Brighton way at that time.
Yeah, okay.
And they're all talking about, Jack Ferry, that the other teachers didn't like him very much, but they thought it was, the kids loved him apparently.
I can imagine.
And followed him around and, asking him questions and stuff. And you can imagine just that he would have just given them all these answers and all these stories and stuff.
Yes, he would have been. It's real education.
A lot of fun being in his class, I reckon.
Oh, God, yeah, it would have been great. Yeah, and he's such a raconteur and such a, and he sort of had this delightful way of subversing authority and doing his own thing. And I think that that always appeals at every level.
It's a very healthy thing to impart, really.
Oh, absolutely. It certainly is. Independent, inquiring disposition, curiosity, all those things. No one wants these heavy laden structures. It's very much for a lot of people anyhow, it's a straitjacket. So when you get a teacher who's a bit emancipated and can sort of go off on a tangent and just, entertain, well, it's compelling, it's good. And he was obviously really, he had great stories. He had he is skilled as a radio operator and as an engineer, and he had the nous to be able to sort of follow ideas and
and he didn't care what people thought,
Yeah, that's right. It was another big thing as well, to be able to be independent. Oh, that would have been most interesting. Would like to have heard that. I'll look forward to. I think he was at Sandringham Tech or something like that. I think.
Yeah, Sandy Tech.
Yeah, in the 60s. So, that's great. Did anyone know what happened? The sad story of his. Did they talk about what happened with Marconi at the end and all of that, or was that?
No, they didn't. And I thought Laurie knew about the recordings of him and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's on the Silly Crossband site.
And you used to play them all the time.
Yeah, that's right. And so he hasn't disappeared at all. Well, not from from the accessibility.
Yeah.
So maybe I might mention to Laurie that they can go to that and have a listen to it.
Yeah, well, I think that's a great idea. I know that Drew knows those. I've referred them to Drew in the past, so he must know those recordings of Mr. Ferry. So, that's most excellent. It's nice when people actually have a deeply historical subject that's something with a personal association rather than mowing grass and cutting.
It's normally pressing your pants, mowing the lawn, going to the shops, but it's getting more. I think people are getting sick of that crap and trying to actually have more personality in there. their things, and it's really interesting.
That's good.
Hearing people's personal stories.
Definitely, absolutely.
They're people of an age who've got a big experience that should be shared.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I agree. And that was always my aim when I used to come up. I just enjoy hearing especially the people's formative experiences, how they got into radio and their early impressions. And usually at that age when you're sort of soaking up everything, it's always a good story. So.
People like Barry had a lot to offer, didn't they?
Well, Barry had some great stories about the bombers and how he used to condition the radios on the bombers during the Second World War, and he was doing his early stuff in the late 1930s, but he was listening around on the bands at least then, and he had a few things to say. I used to, if I could get him rolling with the story, I'd run the recorder across it. I did that a few times. But there were lots.
I heard you trying to bring him out.
Always good. I mean, see, I missed out on all the really good storytellers. I mean, in the earlier times, there were many luminaries who came up on the coffee break, but that was well before.
Oh, yeah, Herb and those people.
Yeah, I would love to have heard their tales. Would have been great to be a fly on the wall.
Well, there's hours and hours. I've been
right.
going through the archive looking for stuff.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because I digitise stuff to higgledy-piggledy.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what's on there. Lots of Barry.
Oh, okay.
Lots of Herb and stuff, of course.
Oh, good.
Like, there must be thousands of hours.
Oh, wow.
And it's incredible. And I got one tape, a DX from Brindy Road.
Yeah.
After 11 o'clock, when all the stations are closed down, and the DX of the broadcast band, you wouldn't believe what you hear on it. It's incredible. American stations back to back with Indians and Asian stuff. It's just like tuning shortwave. That's absolutely amazing.
On the medium wave band after close down.
That's right. You've got 3XY and 2SM or something in locals, and that's about it.
That was all.
Yeah, they'd all closed down, and then 3AK used to open, and that was all there was.
Incredible.
That's right. It was just like a wonderland, and that's how I got interested. Like at night, you tune the radio, and all you heard was all these exotic stations fading in and out.
Oh,
amazing.
that would have been incredible.
Your radio Vladivostok on about 500 kilohertz.
That's right. That was quite strong.
Really? Did you do the same, Frank?
Certainly did, Steve. Certainly did.
Oh, gosh.
And there was a strong one on 770 when 3LO went off. It was a big 50 kilowatt Japanese station just to spoon through.
Oh,
the other thing that made it very easy was that we all had valve radios which didn't cross mod or anything like that, and they worked really well. Even the old dual wave, Commodore Garden things worked very well on medium wave.
That's good. Yeah, wonderful experience. It's hard to even imagine now. We just don't have that sort of that perspective anymore. We just can't experience it really. But maybe in the future we will. But maybe we will. If they shut down our local stations, we'll hear it all coming back.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be shut down for a long time.
Probably not for a while. I think it's there to stay. But very good. I would have enjoyed. I'll look forward to at some stage hearing that coffee break.
Did
Yeah,
you get Max Timms?
I did. Thank you for that. Yeah, it'd be good to. I'll have to have a listen. I seem to have heard you. I think you've played it before. One of the, or it might be on your.
I have played. It used to be played quite a bit.
Yeah. When you when you told the story the other day, it came back to me, and. Yeah. So, did you record others as well? Were there others as well? Other ABC?
That was from just acetates hanging around.
Right.
I've got the acetate here. Actually, I probably dubbed it 20 years ago. And it's interesting. Like it's a dub of a commercial record. The quality's got that ABC Echo Room sound. It's just incredible.
Excellent. Oh, very good. I look forward to having another listen. We'll play it. Maybe we'll play it tonight. It's not very long.
And he's got a good choice of music, different, all sorts of stuff. And, look.
It was really very good.
And the old recordings for landlines with that echo, and particularly record clicks and clacks, you can hear them echoing up and down the line. It's like in an echoey room. It's got that really fantastic long line effect.
Oh, the long line ambience. Sounds great. Well, we might have a bit of a Tim special. We'll hear some of it perhaps tonight. We can put that forward as a teaser for the late night session. That'd be great. Alrighty, well, we'll get something going here. I can't find my iPad. It's disappeared. It's slipped down somewhere. I'll go and have another look. And while I'm doing that, I'll I'll play another recording of the Paradise Orchestra. So we all need a bit of Paradise.
Oh, yeah.
But this one is a
Wonderful.
yes, thank you, Charlie Johnson
That's it.
and the band. And this is a story. This is a song called, wait for it, "The Boy in the Boat." Now, apparently in the Jai vernacular, that is something about a certain part of the female anatomy. So they told me. So they told me. So the things they got away with back then. Let's have a listen.
Preach that thing, brother. Preach it now. Preach it, kid. Ain't that good? Ain't it good? Yes, sir.
Well, there we have it. Charlie Johnson and his Paradise Orchestra from 1928. Some really good muted trumpet solos there by Sidney de Paris, who was sort of on the sidelines in New York, in Harlem in the 1920s and 30s. And they all played at the Paradise nightclub in Harlem, where that band made just a handful of records under the baton of Charlie Johnson, pianist. There's also some good there's a good trombone solo. Now I looked this guy up because I'm pretty impressed with these records. A guy called Jimmy Harrison. They're sort of second tier Harlem players, but they play so well.
That's very good.
They really do. So I think they just sort of had a really good gig and they didn't move around very much. Although Sydney de Paris apparently played with Duke Ellington in the 20s. Did some jungle music with the Duke. But yeah, great band. I love their sound. And they only made about 5 records. And there we go. Very provocative title, which everyone in the know would have been aware. Apparently it was a part of Jive language, but the record executives had no idea what they meant.
I know, I hadn't heard that. That's what I'll add to my store of knowledge.
Yes, all above the garter. Now, what we'll do is another one, Erskine Butterfield and his Blue Boys, a Decca 78 from the new pile, which I'm slowly sifting through. We'll just do a few random records from this, I think, for the next little while. And this disc is quite a well-known tune made famous by none other than Glenn Miller, Tuxedo Junction.
Way down south in Birmingham, I mean south in Alabama's an old place where people go to dance the night away. They all drive or walk for miles to get jive, that southern style slow jive that makes you want to dance till break of day. It's a junction where the town folks meet. At each function, in their tongues they greet you. Come on down, forget your care, come on down. You'll find me there, so long town. I'm heading for Tuxedo Junction now. It's a junction where the town folks meet. At each function, in their tongues they greet you. Come on down, forget your care, come on down. You'll find me there, so long town. I'm heading for Tuxedo Junction now.
Erskine Butterfield and his Blue Boys. And we did a quick fade into the noise reduction system. Halfway through that disc, you might have heard
It made incredible difference.
Yeah, it works well.
I was just thinking of the landline here. It sounded incredible.
Yeah, it works. Works
It's almost
superbly.
total 100% elimination.
Yeah, and without creating.
Didn't degrade the quality really that I could tell.
No, you can I have to re-equalise afterwards, but it's not a problem. And
Although I did like the crackles.
well, the crackles add something. So yes, it's always a bit of a
Don't get a
way.
good crackle.
Yeah, we need a good crackle here and there. And, 78s have got to have their presence factor. And I do think it does tend to suck a bit of the life out of them, but a lot of these records are in pretty average condition. So we'll mix up crackle missions and non-crackle missions.
I don't really care. I probably prefer crackles. But if you listen to radio recordings, pre-1970, all the records are cracked and stuffed. All the LPs are clicks and pops in them. And you never hear that. And even ABC FM too, they're playing an LP and then click, pop, bang.
Yeah.
And no one seems... Like now it'd be a disaster, wouldn't it?
It would be. It would upset all of the powers that be. They would be, it would ring alarm bells everywhere. Because they used to have... I know the ABC library, when I did this thing at Rip and Lee, they had a double collection on each side of the wall. So you'd have... Every record had its sample copy, and then they had the on-air copy. So everything was in duplicate, so they had this duplicate collection. So you could go out and sample and listen and sort of work out what you want, and then you're supposed to have the record on the other opposite shelf, which was the one to play. But I think the sample collection had been sold off a while back and only had bits of it left. So apparently that was the system, but I'm sure people got them mixed up all the time and didn't bother putting them back where they...
For pop music and jazz, it doesn't matter too much, but certainly for classical music, clicks and pops just... may stand out like anything.
They do. They
can sort of destroy the mood a little bit.
Yeah, it can be a bit annoying having sort of rain on the tin roof or the or the fry pan cooking eggs and bacon. Yeah.
It's all right. It's not so bad if it's happening, throughout the record and you're getting the surface noise. You adjust to it. Yeah. But it's the odd click out of the blue that sort of startled you a little bit.
Yes, especially if it's a loud pop or something.
Yeah, once every revolution for 30 seconds, that's disconcerting.
Yes, it is. It does take its toll. Yeah, I know what you mean for classical music. I tend to... I'd rather hear that without much. I don't mind 78s with constant noise, but, like vinyl hash or shellac hash or whatever you, but a lot of sounds on vinyl tend to sort of irritate me a little bit. But, anyhow, we've got another one. This is the Decca Dance Orchestra, so it's a pseudonym. I have no idea who the band is, so we'll just find out, I suppose. Listen and find out. And it's a track called Busy as a Bee.
Buzzing the neighbors and breaking the news. Babbling like a brook, I'm babbling. Gather together the rice and old shoes. Busy as a bee, I'm buzzing. Spreading the wedding all over town. Bidding all the boys a big bye-bye. Me and my honey are settling down. Oh, you put a certain sound in my heart. It's sweet music that I hear with you. Buzzing all around in my heart, I know heaven is near. We've got everybody and his cousin talking it over and making a fuss. Busy as a bee, they're buzzing. Happy, so happy it happened to us.
And I think that might have been Benny Goodman's band. You often see his band turn up on Decca's under a pseudonym. In that instance, the Decca Dance Band, it says on the label. Now, that was without the processing. Now, I think it sounded better without it. I think it had more presence. The record wasn't too bad, but stratified towards the end. Listen to the beginning again, and I'll switch across, and you'll get some idea what I'm. So that's as it is. And we'll just switch back to the original. And I'll return to the noise reduction. And one more time, back to the original. So I didn't have the fader up for the 2 meters. There we go. So there we have it in sharp profile between NR and no NR. But I tend to think mostly I prefer it with that noise reduction, but some of these are in pretty bad nick. Now I was just going through the box and I found an acetate and I got all excited, but unfortunately it is a race call. So, so a Hunt Club. I don't know. Well, I could play it later on, but it's not exactly the most exciting thing.
No, I'm not suggesting you play it. I'm just curious. It could be a very old, historic one.
Yeah, I think it's in the 60s.
Oh, well, that's not so bad.
Yeah, so...
Bill Collins or Bert Bryant, or Joe Brown.
It could be. Could definitely be any of those. Yeah, so yes, often happens you see a acetate in a op shop or somewhere and you think, wow, what's on this? Is it cast related? Is it someone sampled something off the radio? And you go home and it's nearly always a disappointment. It's usually a race call or someone's wedding service or speeches, or they can be home recordings can be very interesting. They're not so bad, but yeah. It's not always, or the worst thing is when it's just a dubbing off an LP or off something that's just commercially released anyhow, and it's like a second-rate dubbing. Now, what to play next? We've got all sort of manner of things here. It's a mess. Here's By the Light of the Silvery Moon. It's on an American Columbia, UCCs, but this record has really gone through the wars. It's in terrible condition. So we'll just hold our breath and see what happens. I will use the NR, I think. In this instance, I think it's probably worth it. And we'll have a listen to the music of Snooky Lantern and the Boys with Ray Noble and his orchestra. This is VK3SL.
VK3JR.
To my honey I'll croon love's tune. Honeymoon, keep her shining in June. Your silvery beams will bring love dreams. We'll be cuddling soon by the silvery moon. By the light of that silvery moon, I wanna spoon to my honey, baby, I'll croon love's true. Honeymoon, keep on a shining in June. Your silvery beams will bring love dreams. We'll be cuddling soon by the silvery moon.
Here's an example of a record that's really past it. Now, if you heard that without the noise reduction, it's completely unplayable. Here's an example. Wait a minute. This one. Actually, it's not too bad. Yeah, anyhow, that's pretty worn. It's an American Columbia, that one. You see there's that particular label, style of label, Ray Noble, and the band from the early 40s, I presume. And we'll hear another from the same batch. Now it's Lionel Hampton and the band. This one's on an HMV. It looks like it's in reasonable condition, so we'll play it in its native form. It's Chasin' with... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm in the groove. Chasin' with Chase. vk3sl. Some high octane playing from Lionel Hampton.
Vibes on drums.
Yeah, I gather he is on the drums on that record. I'd say so.
Not on vibes, so...
Yes, that's right. Amazing drummer.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, drum solo by
Really
Lionel
good.
Hampton. Yeah, drum solo by Lionel Hampton, it says on the label.
Oh, there you go.
Pretty good. So there seems to be a lot of Lionel Hampton in this box. I don't know why.
Oh, but yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I think they're great. I think they're fantastic. Yeah, someone's just obviously got another way to collect collect him. And there's about 5 or 6 of them here. Another one is Artie Shaw. This is another American record, so it makes me wonder if there is some US connection with this batch too. And it's an American Brunswick, and it's Artie Shaw. And this is a, rather, what's the word? Something title. A very presumptuous sort of title, really. It's called The Blues. So, yeah, we'll hear The Blues, side A. There's Artie Shaw and his new Muzak on an American in Brunswick. And yeah.
I like this jive music. It's sort of, it's been forgotten, hasn't it?
Oh, yes.
And I'm glad you found that random box of 78s. Don't throw them out. They're great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they're good fun. Yep, there's all manner of things in this box. It's a complete potpourri. There's no rhyme or reason.
Well, it's the surprise that's half the fun, you see.
That's it. It's the lucky dip factor. I just pulled another one out then, and it happens to be another comedy record, Mr. Freeberg.
Oh, yes.
And he's taking the piss out of Elvis here. And he's did a version of Heartbreak Hotel.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's fabulous.
Ripped my jeans, third pair today.
That's right, exactly. And it's got The Echo by Mammoth Cave on the label. So I'll put this one through the process because it's a bit wrecked, but it certainly deserves to be heard. Let's have a listen to Mr. Freeberg.
Well, since my baby left me, well, I found a new place that's wet. Well, it's down at the end of Lonely Street, Heartbreak Hotel. Well, I'll be so lonely, baby. I'll be so lonely, baby. I'll be so lonely, I could have a little more echo on my voice. Although it's always crowded, that's got it. You still can find some room for broken-hearted lovers to cry there in the gloom and be so lonely, baby. And be so lonely, baby. And be so lonely, they could die. Now the bellhop's tears keep flowing, the desk clerk's dressed in black. Well, it's been so long and lonely, well, they let her get back. It's so lonely, so lonely. so lovely like a dove. Well, now if your baby leaves you and you got a tale to tell, well, just take a walk down lovely street to Heartbreak Hotel, where you will be. Or rip my jeans, where you will be third pair today. You'll be so lovely you could die. Some root for broken-hearted lovers to cry. There in the clue. And they're so lovely, so that's too much echo. Heartbreak be so lovely. Tears keep flowing. You're so lovely. That's too much. Turn me off.
Mammoth Cave to the rescue. And yeah, his third pair of jeans. I can believe it.
Always brought the parodies out very soon after the real thing too.
Yeah, it's clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right on the pulse. Yeah, he knew how to do it. But yeah, that's classic Freeberg on that record.
56 or 57.
Right. Yeah, on a Capital 78. Yeah, I love the way he comes in at the wrong time at the end.
Yeah, I know.
He comes in before the break's finished. It's classic. He's really good at sort of taking the little subtleties.
There's a lot of subtlety in there, actually.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, musical subtlety as well. Yeah, and there's another comedy record in the batch. Another one. It's a Spike Jones, and I won't. Maybe I should preempt the Spike Jones laughing record. I could dial it up, but before that, we've got a crazy version of "I'm Getting Sentimental Over You." And this band is just incredible. They are so finely orchestrated. They could do anything. They had it down to a T. So again, another parody disc. This time, Spike Jones and his City Slickers.
Yeah.
Terrible. Confusing girl.
That you'll be sweet and gentle. Be gentle with me. Because I'm sentimental over you.
Anybody got a handkerchief?
Yep, Spike Jones. It's so manic. I don't think I could cope with any more of that today. We'll save our Spike Jones records for occasional plays. But he certainly had it all worked out, and apparently it was an amazing thing to observe because they'd be sort of darting all over the stage with all this sort of prepared concussion, percussion, and concussion's the word, I think. But yeah, there was it is what it is. Spike Jones and his City Slickers. And apparently poor old Spike Jones right at the end was coming on the stage with his oxygen bottle because he smoked so many cigarettes that he completely wasted himself. The story is that I think he was a 3 or 4 pack a day person. And at the end, it all went south. And poor fellow couldn't complete his hijinks anymore.
That's what happens.
It is. Not good.
Not good at all. He used to have a show, like a regular series of half-hour programs.
Okay, TV or radio?
Radio.
Right. Okay, I've never heard
I've heard some of them on, late-night radio.
Oh, really? That'd be good. Is it all sort of that sort of stuff, or is it?
Yeah, it's all that stuff. But he has guests on who's straight artists.
Yeah.
And quite good guests,
Okay.
Well known, and it's all done in Hollywood or somewhere like that.
Sure.
High quality stuff.
Yeah.
And his band would do 3 or 4 numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very slick. I mean, it would have been a very professional outfit, I'm sure.
Oh, totally.
He had a swing, also a sweet band as well, like a normal band, and apparently they were very good, but no one would take them seriously. So
that's the trouble, you see. But you'd have to actually be very good to play like that.
Yeah. Oh, look, absolutely. I think it featured the same musicians. I mean, they're top class players. Just to be able to play with that whip crack, hair trigger accuracy is quite a remarkable achievement, really. And I enjoy it for its just not just its comic relief and humour, but also the just the precision of those performances. Incredible, and how they did it without cracking up, making those records, just going through such a process. There's so many gear changes on that performance.
It's just manic, isn't it?
Yeah, it only take one person to sort of lose their cool, and the whole thing just
everyone's gone,
and everyone could just fall to pieces.
That's right.
Yeah, but I'm sure it happened many times. But Spike Jones, and. We've also got a Spike Jones concert on here, actually, from the Palais. It's on a CD. I will dig it up. And another one. That's one from Mr. I think I mentioned this a few weeks back. It's from Mr. A.
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong recorded it on a stereo buyer. And I think, yes, it's the first stereo recording officially made in Australia. Well, it wasn't actually released. It was just made for his own purposes. But he had an experimental stereo Mark I Buyer recorder in a rack, which he borrowed from Mr. Buyer himself. And he set it up in the Palais, I think it was, or was at the Melbourne Town Hall. And he recorded Spike Jones in stereo. And
it's historic.
It is historic. It's out there. So he gave me the CD of it. So, that'll be we'll have to find that and play them. So we've got a couple of things from Mr. A. We've got the Stan Freberg spots, and we'll see if we can find the recording of Spike Jones as well. Yeah. So, there's another one from the box. It's a Mr. Magnante, an accordion player, and he's going to play some Black Eyes. So a little bit of a Russian deep melancholy here, but with a little bit of...
Sounds like domestic violence.
Yes, it does a bit. With something a little bit nice. Have I got this switched in? I think I do.
Dark Eyes, isn't it?
Dark Eyes, Black Eyes. Yes, it's the famous Russian gypsy
I know
folk song. Mr. Magnante tickling the pianoaccordion ivories and Black Eyes, a Russian folk song. And there's also a Karina record in this, and these are an ethnic label you sometimes see, occasionally see. And this one's with it just says the Karina Piano Accordion Band, which could be absolutely anybody. But it looks like a bit of fun. So we might sample it and see what happens. Now, I just have to do what I need to do here. That is switch in System 2. And what's the name of the track? Oli Kawalpa, I think, was here. vk3sl. Didn't resolve. I was waiting for the tonic. It finished on an interrupted cadence. Oh, what happened there? Gosh, that sounded a bit dramatic. There we go. That was on a Karina 78, and it was the Karina Piano Accordion Band. That could have been anyone. European fare. And nice to have something that's a bit continental. And we're sampling 78s here, and that's the way it works on these afternoon sessions. I'm vk3sl. I think we've got Frank with us on the side. You still there, Frank?
Yes.
Yay! And we had Mr. Stu there as well. And this is the way it happens. Now, a reminder that late tonight we will do our usual thing from 11:30, and so tune in on 160, and that's 1865 kilohertz, and also probably Channel D for just a short bit, and then we'll QSY to 70 centimetres.
I have to listen on 70 to see what strength I get you at.
Yeah, should be pretty good. I think the general consensus is that 70s hang in there very nicely.
Yeah, I don't think this game works so well on up there, but I'll try it anyway.
Yeah, we'll have a listen, see how it works. Be interesting.
Another time I must do tests up there myself.
Yes, well, let me know. I'll be more than happy to be on the other end.
Thank you. It's a handy extra thing to have.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, look, also a reminder we are streaming online as well. There's a streaming service, and we've got one viewer. And so very warm hello to our viewer. And the other streaming service is non-operational. I'll have to sort things out. I've got to go back through the port forwarding and do the... it's a hassle. Because it's a dynamic IP arrangement here with the stream, with the broadwave stream, I've got to every so often go in and reset the port forwarding. But the problem is I forget the IP address and I forget all of the passwords. And
I do that all the time.
It's a hassle, and you've got to go back to first principles and do the whole thing again. But we'll get there. Hopefully by tonight that'll be sorted. I can do that later on. Now, I've just noticed I was going through this box and there's a puzzle plate. Now, these records are interesting. These puzzle plates, they go back to the early days of the century. It's really old. This record would be well over 100 years old. And what they did, I'll wrestle this other record off the table. What they did, they have 3 concentric tracks. So you don't know which one you're going to hear when you drop the needle. It could be anything. It could be, in this instance, it could be God Save the King. It could be Rule Britannia, or the British Grenadiers. So you have no idea when you start the record what's going to happen. It's an unknown because the 3 grooves run in parallel.
Oh yes, so it's got different starting points.
Yeah, that's right. But they're all the grooves are so small that you never know which one you're going to start on. And on side B, we've got the Coronation March, God Bless the Prince of Wales, and Hearts of Oak. So I reckon this must be from 1910. It says on the label, an English puzzle plate.
I had a 78 like that, except that instead of having 2 alternate music, it had a race that was called.
Yeah.
And a different horse won, depending on what groove you landed in.
That's great.
And it was totally random. You had no hope of picking one particular one, and you could use it as a betting medium.
Oh, isn't that amazing? What fun!
Oh yeah.
So it's a veritable two-up game.
I think it had about 5 possible outcomes.
Oh well, there you go. Clever stuff. I like it. Well, it probably came from this tradition. The puzzle plate. So we can drop the needle in here and see what we hear. Each track goes for about a minute because obviously each is shorter.
Yeah, well, that's the same with the racing. That went for about a minute.
Okay, well, look, I'll have a bit of fun with this. I'll put it on and see what happens. Could be God Save the King, it could be Rule Britannia, or it could be the British Grenadiers. So here we have a Zonophone puzzle plate from about 1910, probably from the coronation in 1910. So here we go. First needle drop. I might just... I'll open this one up. I won't worry about the noise reduction on this.
No.
It'll be pretty basic because it's an early acoustic recording, but we'll have a listen. Here we go. In the groove. Take 1.
Britannia.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll just lift out the needle. I won't do the whole thing. And we'll try for track 2. Anyone taking bets? Track 2, here we go.
Going. God Save the King.
You're right.
I've got it.
Yep.
I win.
You certainly have. Everyone's standing up. Okay, are we ready for the 3rd track?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Will it be Hearts of Oak? I think that's the other one. What's the other one? No, the British Grenadiers.
Yeah.
Here we go. Waited and bated breath. Yes.
It is.
I think we've got the trifecta, Frank.
Done extremely well. But you can't know.
That's right. There we go. Well, that elicits a response. We'll have to have another puzzle plate example. We'll save up side 2 for tomorrow and see if we can go for the trifecta again. We'll all take bets.
We should run a book on it.
I think we should. That could add a whole new dimension to these missions. We could have the daily puzzle plate book. There are a number of them around. I have seen them. I think this is the only one I've got here. But there we go. Puzzle plate from 1910.
Yeah, what a great idea.
Yeah, there we go. So that's a bit of novelty. Now, I did notice that online, dare I go online? It's a bit of a risk these days going online. In this room. Let's see if it's working. Let's see. Is it? Yes, it looks like it is. Now, there is a recording of the original Dixieland Jazz Band from only a few years after that last recording, but someone's done a mega bass boost so we can hear the bass drum.
Oh, excellent.
And apparently a part of the comedic effect was to have a pounding bass drum. So this is where it's revealed. So a re-equalised version. I think it's care of Nick Dellu, or one of the big name collectors who's putting up rare stuff, and it's off a 10-inch Columbia from about 1917 thereabouts. Original Dixieland Jazz Band, My Baby's Arms. Let's have a listen. original Dixieland jazz band, and
That was often their recordings aren't that good.
yeah, they're sort of a bit stylised, but
No, I mean the technical quality.
the technical quality. Yeah.
And it did actually, listening on the big speaks, it did actually have a bit of thump there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. Usually there's just nothing to equalise, but I wonder if they used a octave, drop the octave or something.
They might have done that. Well,
Yeah.
I'd be interested in sort of mining the archive of recordings that you reconstituted, because you did some.
Some of those got an amazing bass.
Yes, that's right. Some of that early 1920s acoustic jazz or syncopated music with, big weighted bass, octave coupling. So we might have to. I think it's all on your site anyhow.
Yeah,
so.
I'll have to go back and do a few more of those. But it's funny how you go through. I was mad doing that for a month and mad doing other things.
Yes.
You get manic about stuff.
I know.
But how come they always, at that sort of jazz, they repeat the last phrase?
Yeah, I don't know. It's some sort of style thing, I suppose.
okay.
It's just a part of what they did. Little tail at the end, little coda, little refrain. I don't know. It's very much in the ragtime medium to do that. The ragtime music always has a bit of a sting at the end. But it is characterful. I mean, you hear that. You characterise that music, so you always hear it.
That's right. And I can imagine people listening to it, they wouldn't have known what it was unless they were into it. Just they're listening to, boring arias and they hear that. It just would not be music to them.
No, that's right. A lot of people were very upset by anything that's syncopated. It was music of the devil.
Of course it is.
And it set people into...
Into a frenzy.
Yeah, that's right. It was considered to be the society was falling apart, coming apart at the seams. It was like a major social upheaval to play this type of music. And everyone thought this is the end. So
Devil music.
that's right. So
It can lead to dancing.
Well, that's right, exactly, and that.
You never know where that's going to end.
And even mixed dancing at that.
Oh, never.
Remember the Goodies episode on mixed dancing? That was one of the best Goodies. And, yeah, it's brilliant, and sort of falls into a Grease parody.
That's right. I'm going to have to order the fried rice now.
Very good. All right, well, I'll do a little bit of some, dare I say, light music, and we'll play a couple of light music tracks, and then we'll do what we usually do. I think there's still a few more Hitchhiker's Guides, but I'm not sure because we sort of played the series, so they're on the page. So I'll just follow on and see what they are. There may be slightly different versions of episodes we've heard before. They won't be as good fi as what we've been hearing, but we'll play a bit of that as well. So this recording is Mr. Jenkins. Who is it? Mr. Tom Jenkins. Tom Jenkins and his Palm Court Orchestra, and it's a gypsy song called Fascination. This is vk3sl. Have I got the right fader? Now there's an example of a record that sounds much better with scratches. Sort of sounds of its time, whereas you've filled out the scratches on that, it would sound just a little bit too, I don't know, too proper. Music of Tom Jenkins and his Palm Chord Orchestra. Yes, that's probably more suited to the late night missions, but these are out of the bag, they're untested. We have no dear eye as to how they're going to sound, these records, and it's all serendipity.
Part of life's mystery.
That's it. And another Angela Morley or Wally Stott. Originally Wally Stott, now Angela Morley, although he died a few years ago, so no more. But one of the another famous musician who took that courageous move to transgender. He was
the orchestra that was in charge of the music for the Goons.
That's right. It was Wally Stott. I knew the name had a particular resonance, and it was to do with the BBC and the Goons and all the light music programs.
That's right.
They did. They sort of accompanied a number of programs, I think, at that time.
They did, yeah, other comedies as well.
I think so. So it was a part of that whole sort of entourage, Wally Stott. Well, there's one of his Philips. He worked for Philips for a long time, or she worked for Philips. And this one is a track, what's it called? It's called Waltzing Bugle Boy, I think. So.
Oh, yes, it's Leroy Anderson.
Is it Leroy Anderson? That probably is, yeah.
I think it is.
Okay.
I really like Leroy Anderson's stuff.
Yeah, so do I. There's a number of LPs of his here, actually, and with him conducting, I will play some tonight. Let's have a Leroy Anderson expose for a change of pace tonight.
All right.
Shall we do that?
Let's do it.
Yay, we'll do that. And later on tonight, Mr. H may come in for a bit to talk.
Excellent.
To talk, he may not too. He might be
Okay.
might be gaming, but he said he might, because we're hearing an enormous amount of Ravel around the house at the moment.
Oh.
We're hearing Ravel every minute of every day.
Ravel de Couperin?
Yeah, we're hearing the Ravel orchestra music. We're hearing the quartet, the trio. We're hearing both of his operas and samples thereof. And so I said to Henry, look, you're so into Ravel, just pick a couple of bits you like and just talk about it a little
Why
bit.
not?
So we'll see. He may or may not want to do it. He probably doesn't want to hang out with fuddy-duddies, but we'll see. No, look, he might do that, and or at some point he might. And so that was on the cards, and I've been listening quite a bit to the Ravel duo. It's a work written for violin and cello. It's almost impossible to play. It's
Don't know them.
It's a magnificent piece of music, and it's so syncopated and so interesting in every sense. Everything about it is harmonically interesting, texturally interesting. It extends the techniques of the players beyond anything of that time. It's remarkable music, and. So yeah, the sort of the Ravelness of our household has prompted me to have a listen to this piece again, which I used to listen to a lot when I was younger, and I just love it so much. So I think we'll play a bit of it tonight, the bit of the Ravel duo later on.
That was great.
So people want to hang out for the later part of the late night program, you might get some non-entertaining Ravel. Anyhow, back to Wally Stott and his light music orchestra, and we'll hear. What was it? Blue. We come full circle now. Back to Bugle Boy. What was it called?
Waltzing Bugle Boy.
That's it. Thank you for that, Frank. There we go. Oh, wait. Right turntable, please. And I will use the NR for this one. Stott and the orchestra on an old Philips 78, and the, what was it called? The bugle.
Waltzing Bugle Boy.
Waltzing Bugle Boy, that's right. And we will follow on with that theme later on tonight. We'll have a listen to the music of Leroy Anderson, and I've got quite a few records of his here, so it'll be fun to let them roll. We'll do a Leroy Anderson special, so a light music special tonight, folks, and we'll do what we usually do at 11:30, and then by the time I've got everything oiled and all the buyers and turntables rumbling away, I'll dial in Frank, and we'll have a Zumo session, so that'll be most excellent. Yeah, so at this point, I suppose I should make my presence known to my fam and see what's happening. And
Waiting for the fried rice to arrive.
Ah, very good. Sounds excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's that time of the day. Now, I haven't been playing many other tracks of late. I haven't been playing anything from anything modern. We'll come back to some modern selections. I'm just I go through phases, sort of 78 phases and other. Yeah, it's the way of things. It tends to, I gravitate. What's the word, with like a magnet, polarized between one genre and another, or one era. So we'll definitely return to some contemporary themes. So those who are yearning for modern or contemporary groups of anything that's post 1960, we'll definitely come back to that. Alrighty, so what we'll say our cheerios at this point until later on.
Good evening from vk3sl.
Yeah, and vk3sl saying cheerio. We'll have another one from the archive of Hitchhiker's Guide. Now, I have no idea. It may even be a repeat. It may be the whole series just played again. So I don't know. I'll just wait and hear myself. So we'll get some idea of what this is about. But the series sort of did finish a couple of days ago. But as I understand it, there are many different versions of the play. So we'll just let nature take its course, I think. So thank you all. Have a very good evening, and we'll need to stop the stream. So sorry, our streaming 50 viewers. Whoa. There we go. Someone's done the big push there. We've got 50 viewers now. How did that happen?
Wonderful.
Wonderful indeed. That's most exciting. So we'll I think it's a well-crafted glitch. But that's all right. Welcome. If there are 50 people out there listening, greetings to you all. But I'm sorry, I will have to terminate. And we can't offer you the second stream tonight. Sorry. It's not going until I sit down and sift through IP addresses and port forwarding and go through 10 nested menus and eventually work out how to put the file extensions on. The whole business. It's ridiculous. But I'll get to that shortly, and hopefully we'll have 2 streaming services working. And if those need to be acquainted with what goes on here, just look up my call sign and in relation to the blog page. It's vk3sl.blogspot.com, and all the connections, all the information's there from that point. So, without any further ado, we'll say cheerio to our 82 viewers now on the stream. 82!
Good
We're going up and exponentially now. This is it. This is the moment I've been waiting for. I always wanted to be famous, folks.
You've made it.
Never mind. Good night, Mr.